So the truth about working a night shift is it's not for everybody. And it's going to be for a specific time within your life. It's going to be for that time in which you're grinding, trying to get shit together. But I'll be honest, right? I've been doing this for 3 years, and I think I'm pretty much burnt out. That's why my sentiment has been changing about working night shift over these past couple of videos, because when you do this shit for 3 years and you're grinding and you're making money. I mean, I really just went full-time for the first year, so I guess I can't even really speak from a 3-year perspective, but I just went full-time last year, and it's not bad, it's not hard, but I can only see myself declining as a man, specifically as a man, right, doing this. I could see myself gaining weight. I can see myself going to the gym a lot less because I'm getting tired and burnt out from working at a place like this. I could see my mental health declining just because of the overall conditions of the job, missing out on life, not being able to work on the stuff that you want. And it's to the point where I don't even really care about the money now. Like, I have money saved up. I make money on YouTube, online, on TikTok, doing other stuff. I need to work on those things, right? But you can't work on your own shit if you're just giving 48 hours to another business, another job or employer every single week. So my sentiment is starting to change. Now I'm starting to, vie for or try to get my time back rather than the money. I said to myself today, I'm really fucking tired. I don't even know if I'm gonna go to the gym. And at that point, I knew it was time to start switching some stuff up. Once as a man, you work a job like this and you stop wanting to do the things that fundamentally keep you valuable within the marketplace, i.e., striving for better, wanting to keep on being, healthy with your fitness and going to the gym and eating correctly. Once you start to put those things on the back seat because of your job, you're cooked. That's my hypothesis. I believe that to be 130% true. Because then you just become a robot. Then you just become someone that's one-way track. You have no depth. You're just working. And I believe if you're providing for something, unfortunately, that might be your life, right? And I don't believe that's a bad path either. If you're providing for yourself, your family, and that's what you can do right now to survive, then that's perfectly fine. We don't all have the same circumstances. But for me, I don't have no kids. I got money I owe for the school and stuff, but that's about it. I don't have any other outstanding thing that I need to be doing within this life other than figuring it out. So I am looking to get out of this shit really soon, at least full-time at least. I believe as a part-time job, this is amazing. This is probably one of the best part-time jobs you can have other than working at a bar or something. But doing this full-time just doesn't make any sense for me anymore. The overall truth is, it's a good job if you can handle it. But at one point, you're not going to be able to handle it. At one point, you're just going to start saying, fuck everything else. I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat. I'm going to drink. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to do all this other shit to cope with the fact that you're at the job, right? You're going to start spending more money just to, feel good about the little things that you have in the meantime. And then at the end of the day, you still got to go on to work. You still got to go on work the retail night shift, and that's that. You're going to want to eat out a lot more. I could see myself falling into these same traps. And this is how society traps you. This is how the corporations trap you. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. There's literally a new Taco Bell that opened up in my town the other day. And that's the most people I've seen in a parking lot in this town for a sort of big corporation like Taco Bell or McDonald's in a long time. And it's like, that's just more nasty food to inject into your body. And guys, I'm gonna go on a rant here. This is not just a sort of issue pertaining to just jobs nowadays. Fundamentally, as a world, we're starting to become less and less desensitized to keeping up with ourselves and being the people that we want to be. When your job is telling you have to come in 48 hours a week just to keep the job, just to keep the operations of the store running, and then your body's telling you, well, you need only 40 hours or only 32 hours of work because that's what your body can handle for right now. And then life is telling you, well, you need money to survive. And then society's telling you, well, you ain't shit because you don't have X amount of money or you're not working X amount of hours. Then other people in the same position is telling you, well, you're not working as hard enough as a man if you decide that, you want to work only a couple of hours a week. You're not more of a man. You're not a man if you ain't grinding and all this other shit. It's all propaganda. Everybody's trying to tell you everything except for yourself. Everybody's trying to tell you the ideal way of doing shit except for yourself. As if being taken advantage of by a job is just a rite of passage, which to a certain extent is true. Sometimes you're just gonna have to take shit on the chin, but for how long, For how long do you want to do those things? For me, I'm realizing that I don't want to do that for much longer. And you're gonna get to a certain point, which I've gotten to the point of in this life, in which everything just becomes absurd to you. You just start not giving a fuck. And as a man, that's the most dangerous time, but that's like the best time for you to exist, right? Because you have nothing to lose. Like, I don't think I have much to lose right now, especially when you've been saving and you've been like sort of going after different things. You're getting certifications. You want to start doing certain schooling again to have more skills in the marketplace. You start to say, you know what? It doesn't even matter. I'll figure out a way. And that's what the system doesn't want, right? And I speak about the system all the time. The system isn't necessarily the matrix. All of that shit doesn't exist. The world inherently is like this to test you. You're supposed to overcome the sort of inherent values and the inherent nature of the world, which is entropic, a whole bunch of randomness, and the fact that there's capabilities of both good and bad things happening to you depending on what you're doing on a daily basis. Like, that exists. That makes sense. That's supposed to be there in order for you to grow as an individual, right? But you don't want to fall into the belief that you need to keep on doing these things, right? You need to keep on falling into the same logic, into the same sort of thought process, because that's what the system wants. And again, the system isn't necessarily the job, the corporations. Those things exist because evil exists, because disorder exists. You not having the perfect life right out the womb when you're spawned into this world exists. It's not going to be like that for everybody. Most of the people are trying to figure it out just like you and I. But in reality, systems, the matrix, life being a video game, that's all bullshit. That's all, again, all just propaganda. Because in reality, it's still people doing things to you at the end of the day. Your employer, how people treat you, sometimes the people closest to you, sometimes world leaders. When you say what's, happening in the Middle East or other places in the world, you don't say it's the system. You don't say it's society. You say it's people. You say it's one person. You say it's a branch of people within the government. So at the end of the day, it's not systems in a matrix. It's people. At the end of the day, people are deciding how your life is its outcome, how it's being designed and played every single day. What I've been coming to understand is my will needs to be stronger than those people. The more I start to realize how absurd this is, the more I start to veer off from the traditional path of go to school, do this, get a degree. Like, it's so crazy. That model worked years ago. It worked in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s, maybe even the early 2000s that worked. But in an age of automation, social media, AI, all this other stuff, all sort of epidemics happening in the world. Essentially, after 2020, everything changed. After the pandemic, everything changed. So now the old model doesn't work. I believe this model is done with. I believe the old guard also has to take a back seat. The old guard is going to get phased out in a couple of years. It's already starting to get phased out. Right? Again, like I said before, it's people that are putting us through these circumstances. But honestly, if we're gonna be honest, like the matrix, the system, all this other shit, the simulation, whatever you want to fucking call it, for life just being inherently not perfect, is really just a mindset. Again, physical things like you not having a job, no money, or being homeless, those are physical aspects of life. But the matrix in reality, the system in reality is a mindset. My mindset of being scared of and doubtful of not being able to pay bills after I leave this job, that's what's holding me back, not necessarily society or the matrix or the system. Me being smart and being like, yo, I wanna hold on to this job for as long as I can before I decide to leave to save up money, that's a mindset. That's not a circumstance, that's not the world, that's not the system, that's a mindset. So the system, the matrix, all of these other things that people like to attach words to, the devil, these entities that people like to attach these words to, these circumstances, it's all just mindset. My mindset right now is work until August, then go do some other stuff. That's my mindset. That's what I've put my mind to. But if I wanted to escape that right now, if I wanted to escape the systems or the matrix or the other stuff right now, I'd just have a life in which I'm not tied to just wanting to stay at a job for quote unquote benefits and all this other fucking shit. That's how they keep you. That's how they trap you. They try to like sort of get you to be like, oh, this is how good the job is because it has this. I believe all that is bullshit. That only works if the job inherently is good. If you have to deal with too much shit while being at a job is like, well, think of it like this, right? And I know I've been ranting, but stay with me now, right? If your mental's fucked up and then your health is fucked up, of course you're gonna need the goddamn benefits, the health benefits from the job, because you're gonna be dying at the same time you're working. Think about how crazy that is. If you had the time, let's say you worked 25 to 30 or 32 hours a week, then you would have the time to really focus on your health. Maybe you don't need to pay for healthcare, right? It's not like a car where you have to have insurance to keep it on the road. But of course you're gonna need health insurance, dental insurance, and all this other shit if you're just working at a job and you're killing yourself doing 40, 48 hours, 60 hours a week because your health is declining as much. It's gonna be your health declining being on a proportional level, proportionate to how much you're working. They go hand in hand, they go in tandem with each other, right? So that might be a crazy take. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that take in the comments. I might get some pushback before that, but I usually just spitball with these videos, right? But you could kind of get what I'm saying. Of course, you're gonna need the health benefits and all that other fuck shit that they try to get you to get behind as quote unquote benefits of a job. You're gonna need that. If you're working 60 hours a week, your health is already bad. Let's think about the average person's health. It's already probably terrible. Not everybody has good health. Of course, you're gonna need the health benefits if you're working at a job and doing work like this. Because you're dying, you're killing yourself at the same time as you're working. So you're gonna need the benefits. It makes sense. But if you have time to sort of worry about your health and being a competent person, then it starts to become less and less needed, maybe, right? Y'all let me know about that take. What I'm trying to say is, this is all our doing, right? It is ultimately up to us. Nobody's gonna do it for us. The truth about working a night shift job is it's great. It's honest work. It's good at the end of the day. But don't stay here forever if you want to be something, if you want to actually do something, right? Stay there for as long as you need to, you know, consolidate wealth and power within your life, I should say. Some leverage within your life, right? Because money is leverage, but time is the ultimate leverage, right? Do the night shift if you can handle it and if you could actually sort of still keep up with yourself as a human being. But once you start to lose who you are fundamentally as a human being, just to come in to work, you're not a human anymore, you're just a robot. They already want to replace us with AI and robots, right? Quote unquote AI. It's like, what are we doing? What are we actually doing in this life? That's what you have to really like start to realize. But yeah, rant over. That was my rant on working a night shift and life and the matrix and systems and all this other shit. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments. Am I tripping? Are my takes crazy? Am I just coping? Like, just let me know in the comment section below. I love making videos like this. It brings me peace. It brings me solace to have these conversations with you guys in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe if you want to hear me talk about topics like these a lot more. It's your boy Draco, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna finish up this work and I head on out. Y'all have a great day. You know I love you guys. Peace.